for me, looking at the components that made up the structure of elections, starting with INEC, they did tremendously well. That's one thing as a person. I've been in politics now going on 20 years, and I've seen elections, I've won elections, I've lost elections, and I've seen how elections played out in time past compared to what we had now. With the BVAS machine introduced into the system, again, I want to congratulate the gentleman who invented that particular machine. I learned he's a Nigerian, and this clearly shows that opportunities given to us will take us to any level we want to get to. So it doesn't really mean that everything that has to come from way overseas has to be better than what we do ourselves. These elections has proven it that we can be ourselves if given the opportunity. So the BVAS machine did tremendously well. Even being, when I say part of the electioneering process, as someone who is from the political party that won the election, a candidate of the party for the House of Representatives, I was actually monitoring the efficiency and the improvement of INEC from what used to happen in the past. And what I noticed clearly was INEC had done tremendously well. And I'm almost certain the elections coming up in Osun will be much better than what we saw in Ekiti, ongoing to the 2023 elections. So I think I would give INEC over an 80% in performance. The police force too, which is the security agent, police, military, and everybody put together. Elections are beginning to get to the level that we see overseas, whereby you need not be chased around. Ballot snatching are things that have come off, things of the past now, and cutting away of ballot boxes and all that. I never heard of that happening anywhere in the 177 wards in the state. So people have come of age. The system is getting better. So all it does is the security officers are just there to probably just man basic things that does happen, which in the past wasn't like that. So elections are getting better, for real. And most importantly, the electorates too knew what they wanted. So it's a class of those conducting the elections, those voting themselves, and the umpires of the elections. So the electorates themselves knew what they wanted, and this issue of vote buying, I don't know if it happened any other place, but in my local government and in my area, they knew what they wanted and they voted for who they wanted. And this is the first time in history in Ekiti State, go into records and check that out, that elections will be won in such a margin. It's always been about 40,000 margin and all. It's close to about 60, 70,000. So clearly, the people of the state are spoken. So I want to again congratulate Ekiti indigents, congratulate INEC, congratulate the security forces, and most importantly, the gentleman who won the election. Without a shadow of doubt. I mean, he's been in the system for years. He served as PA to Governor Adeniyi Adebayo at the point in time, 1999 upward until 2003. He was Chief of Staff. He served as SGF, Secretary of State Government, SSG in the state. So I think he understands the terrain that he's operating from. That's the advantage that he would have over every other person that has governed the state. And that's what people are yearning for. Someone who knows them, who they know clinically, and they understand very well. So for him, I would expect that he should do better. And people are expecting that he does better. Most importantly, he still has this leverage that he has for himself working, which is all that I've explained to you. So I don't see a reason why he shouldn't do better. Local politics, he understands. And the national politics, yes, with time, he would get to understand. And internationally, all he needs to do is still hang on to Dr. Kayode Fayemi, who has that. I saw Professor Mahmood speak on TV about 3 days ago at a program that he had with the youths, trying to actually cool the nerves and the phrase of our young generations coming up. And I think they're beginning to get of age. with all I just told you now that happened in the Ekiti elections, it's become very clear that the votes would count. This is what we never used to have in time past. So people are now conscious of the fact that if I register and get my PVC, the certainty is I would vote on election day and my vote will count, which means I'm going to be a part of the process to determine who governs me, be it at the executive level or the legislative level. So these are one of the things or major things that the youths of this country are asking for. And they are looking for a change which is permanent in everything that we do. You understand? So, and we have come of age to understand that as it's not majorly an issue that wants to be debated by most people, but clearly we need to understand that the game democracy works in between political parties. And we have two major political parties in this country as we speak, the PDP and the APC. So it's about the choice of the people. You do well, you get it. You don't, you get kicked out in preparedness for other elections to come. But that again would ginger for those of us who are in government as we speak to constantly don't take them for liberty, those who vote you into office. So that's one thing that is very major for elections now and for the youth that are coming up. So for me as a person, kudos to the generation that are coming behind us. They've clearly seen it, that this is the opportunity that they have, and it's going to be a check on us too as a people, just like what you have as legislators being a check on the executive. So the youths will be a check on all of us that are in the system. Don't take them for granted at any point in time.
Helpless, find myself so desperate on my knees.
A lot of people talk about this electoral act, how it played out, how it's considered that the National Assembly shot themselves at the foot. But I similarly would want to say this, my own observation or thinking. In every 8 years, the lifespan of any elective executive government, there would be a change in order.
Right.
And in that particular change in order, so many issues plays out. Politicians plays with the minds of the electorate. We begin to characterize ourselves, categorize ourselves in manners that are untoward, even to the electorates. You see all manners of machinations, people speaking ill of each other in election time processes. This comes up every 8 years at the span of every executive tenure.
Right.
And what I've seen happen clearly as we speak is it is the hand of God that determined everything that happened at the National Assembly. A lot of us could not even answer for what happened, how did we miss it? You understand? And we're saying we shot ourselves at the foot, the executives, and the simple language to it is just the intonation, the English stamp to it. Elected members would vote, and presumably we're all elected. So at that point in time, we felt everything was all encompassing. But unfortunately, when the legal interpretations came out of it, we found out that everybody was shut out. That was God's plan for Nigeria at that point in time.
Right.
You understand? And that's the way I take life, and that's the way I see it. Now, what it boils down to is what we're doing as we speak at the National Assembly, trying to look into that particular law and see how we can play around with it before the ninth assembly goes out of play until the 10th assembly. But in lawmaking, it's a process. You get it right now, you lose that. You don't get it right now, you perfect it during the 10th assembly. So for me, government is a continuum, and lawmaking too is a process that is a continuum. So it doesn't matter. We might have seen it the way it played out now. Unfortunately, most of our members got shut out, which is quite unfortunate. The high turnout of lawmakers coming in and out of the legislative arm is unfortunate for democracy in this country.